conversation. Now, as far as insecurity is concerned, it is like Kwara, like Kogi State. As such, Governor AbdulRazaq of Kwara State and top military and intelligence heads have conducted an on-the-spot assessment of insecurity in Kaima local government area where alleged terrorist group Mahmouda has held sway. Governor AbdulRazaq and the delegation were in the area to assess security concerns and reinforce interagency collaboration across border communities. Governor AbdulRazaq promised prompt military onslaught against armed banditry in the state. Now let's share the story by TVC News' Ibrahim Alege.
Babanla community in the Felodo local government area of Kwara State was recently attacked by some armed criminals. There have been reports of kidnapping and violent attacks in nearby communities, forcing some residents to flee their homes. These incidents have triggered agitations from the people of Kwara South for improved security measures.
Our plea to the government is that they should reinforce our district, Senatorial District, that's Kwara South Senatorial District, with heavily armed police force or military personnel that will be stationed in our local community.
That forest, I think, is even more than Sambisa Forest. That's their hideout. And from there, they spread to the local government, they spread to Paji local government, they spread to other, even Okero local government, and other states too, Kogi State. So they should help us flush them.
The government is not resting on its oars. Security operatives have been mobilized for both ground and area offensives. During a visit to Babanla and surrounding communities alongside security chiefs, Governor AbdulRazaq assured residents that their safety remains a top priority.
Surely they'll be stamped out of this area. I do understand the vastness of the terrain and the forest here and the challenges it possesses. But from the boots on ground, the logistics being put in place, this will be a thing of the past sooner, very soon and very shortly. We've ordered Kwasip to move in immediately and enumerate those that are in need of support. And very soon, they will get those support as early as next week.
It is our strong belief that putting this wide expansive of land into use will not only boost the economies of the state alone, provided a massive employment, but also help flush out and deny the bandits of the hiding places.
With the assurance coming from the governor and security operatives, the people of Babanla and other affected communities can now heave a sigh of relief and hope that such an attack doesn't occur again. Ibrahim Alige, TVC News, Babanla, Kwara State.
All right, thank you so much, Ibrahim Alige. Biko, now that the governor has visited Kaima local government area and promises have been made, the question is, what next? Military onslaught straight away?
No, we need not just to improve military presence, police presence in the focal local governments. We need to encourage motorized patrols on those highways connecting two states together. The highways connecting Kogi and Kwara together, especially Kwara South, talking about Egbe. The whole of Yagba West and places like Oboile, Oboayegunle, Isanlu-Isen, the people continue to come under attack from bandits. The highways are no longer safe. People get picked up and marched into the bush by these bandits. And that's why I said motorized patrols will help, because when they know that the armed forces are policing the highway, they are moving along the highway, they know that their right to operate unhindered has been taken away. This is what we do not do as well as we used to do it in the past. We need motorized patrols. Yes, we can have checkpoints here and there, but where checkpoints are far apart, the solution is motorized patrol, in my view. So the forests that they were talking about, uninhabited forests in that story, the Felodun local government area is one of the biggest local governments in Kwara State, one of the top 3 in terms of land mass. And these bandits are found in its forests, some form of habitation, and an opportunity to launch attacks on our people. The people of Kwara South really need help. It's not Babanla alone.
Okay.
We can send troops to Babanla, but it may not necessarily solve the problem, because these guys are active in other areas. From the Kanji Lake National Park, the very extensive Kanji Lake National Park, they move into Kwara State, move into Barutin, you know, along the border with Benin Republic. They move into those areas, and that's where the Mahmudawas are operating without let. You can imagine in the old Bogu local government, you know, Bogu used to be part of Kwara.
Okay.
In that whole area, very extensive, very, very big. They moved into Kwara State. They are now determining when people can fell trees.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they collect tax from people. That's what the Mahmudawas are doing. And these are people, it's like an offshoot of Boko Haram that has now assumed a kind of, turned that place to its own fiefdom, where they can harass our people without let.
All right, BK, we need to go on this quick break. And when we return, the conversation continues. All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. I still have Babajide Kolade Utitojo right here with us, BKO, and the returning Shola Majewisi. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, BKO has, given us laid the foundation for us. But beyond military presence, what kind of preventive measures do you think the state government really needs to do, to prevent this kind of occurrence after the clearance operation?
Yeah, first, let's commend the governor for the proactive action. I can see that so many things have been put in place, like providing logistics for security forces. Like Biko said something about mobile security forces moving around. I know about 70 motorbikes were provided for soldiers to patrol and some other patrol vehicles by the state government to improve on the situation. But there is need to create a better synergy between the government that's on the ground and the military, the security forces. Better intelligence gathering. He was talking about closeness to the border. We have to understand that there is a kind of heat coming from the up north. And these people are coming south. Coming to Kwara South and all those things. Trying to find better avenues to operate and to instill a kind of government around that area. But if there is better intelligence, the people have to be sensitized. It always happens that no matter what happens within a community, there must be an inkling of knowledge by the people. The government should create a better relationship with the people to be able to know what is really going on within that area. You work at all levels, from the state government to the local government, to also the wards, to create better intelligence gathering momentum so that they will be able to know how to tackle these people beyond, after all military techniques or whatever has been put in place. There is still need to get to the root through native intelligence, through intelligence gathering. So that has to be done. And also sensitizing the people to understand that there is no government. You said they were organizing a kind of fiefdom. And the belief of the people, you know, they entice the people with bribes. Sometimes they come out occasionally throwing money around, giving the people the impression that maybe, this is a better option because the government is not. But eventually, when these people entrench themselves, they stock in trade of terrorists or bandits, it will create a kind of feeling of confidence in the people towards them, or to create an impression of terror, so that the people will bow down, people will be afraid. The necessity of the government to impress it on the people that these are not your savior. These are just vermin that are out to destroy your ways of life. So there has to be that synergy between the people and the government. Better intelligence gathering to forestall whatever may be good. If the government has better information, they will be able to know how to, tackle ahead or how to forestall any impending attack by the bandits. So, well, what the government in Kwara is doing is good. I also have to encourage the federal government, like the chief of, the chief of defense staff promised to bring in more forces to be able to tackle this. It must go beyond mere military promises. Let it be seen right there. I liked what happened in the Cameroon borders, the bombardment and all those things. But it didn't just start. The successes were, preceded by proactive actions taken by the government to make sure, to be able to pinpoint the particular areas where you can catch this. If that is not done, we still continue to have. All right, we have
Adeyemo calling in from Lagos. Adeyemo, you're live.
Good evening, Babajide.
Yeah, good evening.
And your co-journalist. Yes, in the present issue, discussion ongoing about insecurity in Kwara State. But I've been listening to the comment about the issue of security. It is now time for we to declare all total war against insecurity or banditry in the entire North and North. And I can tell you, sir, in Nigeria, people bring peace in Nigeria. Nigeria brings peace into their nose. I don't know why it is.
Hello? Okay. All right. He talked about intelligence. Now, how do we improve the intelligence? Okay, talking about, should they engage the traditional and the community leaders in those communities for a longer security efforts, for a long-term security efforts?
Yeah, you see, everyone is a stakeholder when it comes to security matters. And where you see unusual movements, you should be ready to provide information. The armed forces should also be ready to act on intelligence provided them. The people should give the armed forces actionable intelligence at all times, not the sort of information that sends them on a wild goose chase. That has happened on a number of occasions. If we have information about movement of the bad boys, maybe they are leaving a community, heading somewhere, and the armed forces are notified, they can take the kind of action that will ensure that those guys are wiped out completely. In the Northeast, that happens from time to time. You see that the armed forces will sometimes call a bullseye. It's because they got actionable intelligence and they took action decisively. We need, in those areas that are deemed problematic, we need military presence. We need the presence of mobile police. Maybe set up squadrons of mobile police here and there. We don't have a choice now. because those guys are not targeting urban centers. They are targeting rural areas, or at best semi-rural areas, where they know there is not sufficient presence of the armed forces.
Oh, okay.
So we need to put, to plant forward operation bases of the army, or even the Air Force. The Air Force has special forces personnel that can play the role of surface troops.
Oh,
so
okay.
you can use them, you can deploy them in problematic areas. Once you have sufficient presence of these people in those areas, you will see that the rate of attacks will go down. I've seen a practical example along the Ekiti-Kogi highway. The Ekiti State government has put soldiers, policemen on ground, and you see their presence gives travelers that rest of mind. Maybe you are driving, you feel like easing yourself. You want to stop where you can see that there is a police checkpoint.
Exactly.
You feel comfortable to empty your bladder in that area. There's a confidence that it gives you. When you are driving, you can see that, oh, at every point you see a checkpoint. But if bandits know that a whole stretch, maybe like 80 kilometers, there is they will want to go and operate there. And if they pick people, chances are that they will be able to escape with the people. So we need greater presence of law enforcement in our rural and semi-urban communities. That will really help. And I'm happy. If you go to Kaduna, Southern Kaduna now, it's one of the reasons that attacks have come down, basically, is the fact that they opened forward operation bases. So you know that there's the presence of the military. You too, as a bad boy, you want to be cautious because you know that, look, the people who will take you out, they are not far away. So this is the thing. We need to reinforce the confidence of our people by ensuring that these people are put on ground. I'm confident that the governor of Kwara State, who is the leader of governors in our country, they are always having this peer review. You know, so I expect them at all times to review what's going on in terms of security. You know, Kogi, Kwara, how can they work together? Osun and Kwara, because they also share a border. How can they work together?
All right, we have Daniel calling in from Port Harcourt. Daniel, real quick, you're live.
Yes, thank you, and good evening to everyone. Great analysis you are making.
Thank you.
Fortunately, I was born in New Busa, the Borgu local government.
Yes.
And I'm used to those areas from Wawa to Kayama and all. And it bleeds my heart to see what is actually going on. My birth certificate actually reached Kwara State, even though the place is now Niger State. I think that because it's a vast land.
Yes.
And I think, in all honesty, that the police is not enough. I think that the president spoke about the forest guard or something. Locals need to be brought into this forest guard. The locals can handle some of these things if they are properly empowered. I'm telling you. It's just that because you face a man who carries a gun and you don't have a gun, it doesn't mean that they can overpower anybody, but if the government can.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, let's move straight to our next conversation. For a megacity like Lagos, open defecation is a no-no. In a bid to eradicate